I guess we can get started. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Calvin Conyers. I'm the Associate Dean of Admissions and Recruitment here at Benjamin Franklin Institute of Technology. And I want to thank you all for joining our information session about our automotive program. We have our chair of the automotive program, Dave Protano. He will be talking a little bit more in detail about the program, answering any type of questions you have regarding the curriculum and just some of the outcomes in general. I want to start off by just sharing one of our videos about the automotive program. Then I'm going to hand it off to Dave to talk a little bit more about the program in detail. Throughout the presentation, feel free to, if you have any questions, you could either shoot them, put them in the chat, or you can unmute yourself and ask it at the appropriate time. Everyone see my screen?
Yeah.
See it?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
The automotive program, and there weren't many, and I came across BFIT, so I came on for a tour. I'm attracted to the automotive program because my mom used to tell me about this car that she built with my grandfather. He's always working on something new, and I just want to help him. He's like, well, you qualify, of course. So I qualified. I think BFIT is a special place. There's no negativity. It's very positive. It's like something you feel when you first come in.
At this time, I want to turn it over to Dave Protano. You have the floor.
All right. Well, thank you. As Calvin mentioned, my name is Dave Protano. I'm the department chair for Automotive Technology. First, I'd like to discuss a little bit about the industry.
Yeah. 1 second.
You talking to us or?
We're going to mute everyone. Hold on 1 second. Thanks, Dave.
All right, ready? Can you hear me? All right, so I want to talk about the industry a little bit before we get started in the program. So where the industry is right now, there's a big need for automotive technicians. So if you are interested in the industry, this is the time to get in. I get calls almost daily, I would have to say, from our industry partners looking for students or graduates, either to work full-time or part-time in the industry. So as far as a good career, it's out there and it's waiting for you. Now, as far as pay goes, it varies, but we have students that start anywhere around 40,000. We've had students start at 60,000. So it depends on your experience and depends on the dealership you get into. So with that said, let's talk a little bit about our program. We'll start with the instructors first. All the automotive instructors, there's 8 full-time faculty and somewhere between 5 to 6 adjuncts, depending on the semester. And our job is to prepare you for industry. So it's to prepare you for an entry-level position when you enter the industry. Now, I mean, that's kind of broad, I understand, but and there's, depending on your skills, again, it depends where you start. Now, we'll have some students that will start with the quick lube, where you'll be starting doing oil changes. We'll have some that will start as valets, some actually start in parts departments, and some will go into the main shop where they're actually doing repairs. Now, that all depends on how you come into the college and how fast you progress through your education, and if you're working in the industry part-time while you're a student. You don't need any experience at all. So if you're not coming from a vocational high school, that does not matter. Every one of our students starts off at the same place. Some do have some knowledge, but those students usually help other students in lab situations and along the way. So I mentioned labs just a second ago. All our automotive courses have a lab component. So you'll have the theory where you get the lecture, and then you move on to the actual lab, the hands-on portion. So you'll get hands-on with every course. We do have a live garage here, which what I mean by that is that garage, we treat that like a shop. So you'll have customers come in, they make appointments, they come in for repairs. The students have 2 instructors in there that assist them with the repairs, but you get a full exposure on how a shop works. So that experience ties into when you're ready to go into the industry. Now, depending on, I didn't mention earlier, but we have 3 different courses. We have our certificate, which is a 9-month certificate program, and you'll learn pretty much undercarriage things. And when I mean undercarriage, it's suspension, brakes, tires, exhaust. There is engine courses in there, and there's electrical courses in there. We're heavy on the electrical because, as you all know, that's where technology is going. So we're heavy on our electrical courses. And then our associate's degree is a little bit more extensive. That's 2 years, and you get a degree there, not a certificate. And there are more automotive classes in that program. And then if you wanted to, you could stay and go to the bachelor program, which is a 4-year program, and it's in automotive management. But the certificate and the associates, again, we're training for that entry-level position. When I place students in industry, whoever the hiring manager is at that particular facility, I'll explain to them that, this student coming in is an entry-level technician. Then how you progress through the industry depends on your motivation and how fast you go. There's nothing to say you couldn't start in the quick lube doing oil changes, do that for 6 months, and then move into what they call main shop, where you will actually be doing all the repairs. And those repairs, you may start off with brakes, tires, exhaust, that type of thing, and then you move into the engine performance and computerized engine controls and the electrical diagnostic stuff. We're always tweaking our technology in our curriculum because, as you know, everything is changing in the industry, and we have a big push right now for electric vehicles. Electric vehicles are coming. They're coming pretty quickly, and we're already in the process of changing our curriculum and creating a program for students to be trained in electric vehicles. So that's kind of the shortness of what the program is all about. Couple high points: we do provide you, it's included in the tuition, but we provide you with tools while you're a student. You get to take those tools with you and bring them to industry. So once you graduate, you take the tools with you, and you're ready to hit the ground running. As far as textbooks, we provide the textbooks. That's also included in your tuition, so you don't have to really worry about purchasing any textbooks. We've included that in the package in your tuition, and we'll distribute that as you become a student and we get ready to kick off the semester. I'll take a brief moment right there and to see if anyone has any questions. It might bring on some other questions or some other things I'm going to say, but does anybody have any questions at this point?
Feel free to unmute yourself and ask the question.
Hi. Quick question in regards placement. Can you give us some examples of dealerships that your students have been able to be hired after, say, associate or bachelor's degree, just to have an idea?
Oh, sure, absolutely. Pretty much all the dealerships that are our partners. Prime is a big supporter of our program, and we place a lot of students with Prime. We place students with Herb Chambers. Some of the smaller dealerships around, like Honda Cars of Boston, the Ford dealership, Century Ford in Medford is a big supporter. Let's see, Bernardi would be another one. And we have a lot of other independent shops, and we have some of the mass merchandisers. And what I mean by mass merchandisers, the Firestones, the Goodyears, the Sullivan Tire. So it's not just dealerships. You're not just able to go to a dealership. I mean, of course, if you want to, that's fine. And most of our students do want to go to the dealerships, but we do place students in private independent shops. Some of those shops are owned by graduates, and actually I've just got a call this week from a graduate that's been in business for 10 years now, and he's looking for some technicians. So he gave me a call. So there's a lot of options. And if you find that you go through the program and you don't want to be a technician, there's other avenues that you can follow in the industry. You could become a service advisor. So you would just talk, when the customer comes in, you would talk to the customer, you find out what the problem with the vehicle is and write up their repair order. You could be a service manager. You could go into parts management. We have had students do that. We've had numerous students actually go into sales also. Whatever the education you get is transferable to all those other positions. Even motorcycles, if you felt as you went through the program and you figured, oh, well, cars aren't my thing, I'd rather go into small engine or motorcycles, that knowledge is transferable to those industries also. An engine's an engine, has all the same components. So, you know, we've placed students in small engine repair facility for Home Depot. We've had students go to motorcycle shops. So having the automotive background takes you in a lot of different, you have different options. I even had students actually go to work for some of the bigger hospitals in the city, and their job is to maintain and repair the generators that need to run, say if there was a loss of power in the hospital or anything like that. So, and that's run by gas-powered engines and diesel engines. And so that's an option too. There's so many different options when you go through the automotive industry that, you know, it's interesting, it's challenging, and it's fun, and then you can make a great living. I mean, like I said earlier, starting for anywhere from 40 to 60,000. And in 3 to 4 years, if you're dedicated, you can be up around the $100,000 mark as a technician. And of course, it changes when you're in management, but it's a very lucrative industry. And again, I'll say it again, the need is huge. The need is huge. It's if you're serious about it and you want to make a good living, the opportunities are there. And here at Ben Franklin, we can help you. You know, I mentioned earlier that all the automotive instructors are from the industry, have worked in the industry, and have been teaching for many years. Myself, I've been here for 15 years. So we know what it takes to be a successful technician. We bring that to the classroom, and our students are very successful in the industry.
Dave, can you talk about the certificate program? If someone was to take the certificate program, they're asking whether or not they could transfer that into the associate's degree.
Yeah, so I mentioned how our certificate is a 9-month program, but those courses, you only have automotive courses in there. You don't have any electives, you don't have any math, or you don't have any English. So if you completed the certificate program and you wanted to then proceed and get your associate's degree, all those credits, those automotive credits that you received in a certificate are transferable into the associate's degree. We just have to fill in the spaces with everything else. And it's an easy transition. All the credits just morph over into the associate's degree, and we fill in the spaces. And it would add approximately another year onto the education that you already had, but you would leave with a degree. And then, of course, if you wanted to keep going after you finish get your associate's degree, you can move on and get your bachelor's degree in automotive management. And the students that leave that program do go into dealerships. Some actually open up their own shops. We've had students do that. So there's other options with that also. I would say that for the most part, those graduates that leave with the bachelor degree in automotive management still start off as technicians, and then shortly after they get some experience as technicians. And I always encourage them to be a technician first, because I think as a technician and then going into management, I think you're a much better manager because you understand so much more and you know where the technician is coming from.
Mr. Protano, if I may, could I just ask you one question?
Absolutely.
So great to talk to you, Mr. Protano. I'm a friend of the program. I'm a 1984 graduate of BFIT's Automotive Technology program, and I'm here at Norwood High School, so I know the history, and it's a great program, always has been. So thank you to you and Calvin for all the good work that you do. My question was, what is the long-term plan for the automotive facility? Is that going to go to Nubian Square, or is it going to stay at Berkeley Street?
No, it's going to Nubian Square. We have it all designed to be at Nubian Square.
Excellent. Okay, very good. And I would just say to everybody, everyone else who is here, the baccalaureate program that Mr. Protano made reference to is a tremendous program. It's also a tremendous value. I really believe that one of the greatest things that we can be doing for young people is to encourage them, to get involved in that program. It's the best of both worlds because you get the solid technical part that, BFIT is famous for, and then you get the 2 years of management, and it really checks all the boxes. So thank you for the opportunity to be here today, Mr. Protano and Kelvin.
Sure. And didn't your son go through that bachelor program?
He most certainly did, Mr. Protano, and he'll be thrilled to, I'll let him know that you picked up on that. And my son is doing extremely well today. He's a walking, talking example of the benefits of, the baccalaureate program, because he's very strong technically. He has the management side, and here he is at, he graduated from that program in his early 20s with his bachelor's degree, and he's just really blossomed, and he's very happy with where he is in life now. So thank you to you both for all your work.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Dave, do you want to talk a little bit about the, wait, there's a question about how we transition to the online learning, being that it's really a hands-on program. If you could talk a little bit about that. And then there's a question.
Yes, yeah, I mean, that's important. That should have been at the forefront for me. So we did go virtual, fully virtual in the beginning of the pandemic. But we didn't stay fully virtual for long. By August, we had our labs in person, and we were still doing our lectures virtually. And then this September, that's the model that we kept. We had our lectures were virtual, and all labs, all the hands-on portion was hands-on. We had students come in, we took all the necessary precautions, and it went well. Everything went well. We had a few cases, but nothing crazy. Knock on wood. No instructors got the virus, so that was good. But and hopefully this September, when all you would be starting, we continue at least having our labs in person. If it was up to me, I would surely welcome having the lectures in person also, but we have to be safe, and we have to pay attention to the CDC and the mayor of Boston and what they suggest. But so I guess it's a wait and see game for September. But I think you can pretty much count on September being at least hands-on for your lab.
Yeah, I just want to add, it changes weekly. So, right now, that is the plan for the fall, but, it could change in October. and, you know, the college could make the decision that, you know, everybody is remote. So it's going to change. We don't know. And we're like Dave said, we're going to really pay attention to what the state and the city is requiring of us. And, you know, we just want to, again, make sure that everybody's safe. And but we're going to work. We know that everybody wants to be on site. So we're just trying to work through all that process.
And just to add a little bit to that, it was an easy transition really for automotive to go virtual, because our textbook, the textbook I mentioned earlier that you get, is already online. So we had some online labs already created, and you know, we had ebooks and the lectures and the PowerPoints were all accessible for the students. So the transition for our automotive was relatively easy to get the information out there. You know, not 100% ideal, as we all know, but our textbook complemented that very well. And then, of course, the publisher was making all sorts of changes, realizing that, you know, colleges and other educational facilities were using the book and it was virtual, so they were always sending supplements to make it better for the student. So we have that on our side. So, you know, there wasn't much of a blip in the education.
Can you touch on the work, learn, earn model?
What I'm not sure. What do you mean?
The partnership that you have with, I think it's Prime and Village.
The Volvo, what you're saying? Okay.
Yeah, where students get scholarships and
Yes.
part-time jobs. And
so two of our bigger industry partners, there's a couple different things that happen. Either, first of all, we don't do any internships where it's part of the curriculum. So you don't go out and work in industry and then that counts as your college credit. All our partnerships are paid. Now, some of the industry partners that we have will give you an hourly wage, and they may also give you money towards your tuition, or they will give you a scholarship for your tools. So they might pay for your tools. Now, the way this happens is once you get in here and become a student, you work with the faculty, you work with me. I see your skills. You tell me that you're interested in working in the industry and maybe partnering with one of these dealerships, and we get you placed. You have to go, it's not just my word though, you have to go through the interview process, and then the dealership selects you to become an employee, and you work for them somewhere around, I would say 15 to 20 hours a week. Of course, they know, and we would rather you excel in your studies. So we want to limit the amount of hours that you work. If you're up to 25 hours and you're the type of student that can handle that's fine, not a problem. But we always make sure that education comes first, and the dealership knows that also. But anyways, what it does is it gives you a little bit help with your tuition or your tools, and then gives you a place to go upon graduation. Now, this can happen as early as in your first semester, or it can happen if you're in the associate's degree and you're here 4 semesters, it can happen in your 4th semester. It doesn't matter when it happens, but that option is there. So if you're looking to, you know, get into this program, get into the industry, then and a little help with your tuition, you have that option also.
There's a question about the day and evening program, the timing and the difference, if any.
Sure. Well, our associate's degree, you can only, it's only during the day. And that schedule is, it's different every semester. It's not a traditional high school schedule that you might think. Some days you could be out of class by noontime. A couple other days you'll be here probably till 4 o'clock, because that might be a day where you have back-to-back labs or something and they run till 4 o'clock. And that would be during the day for your associate's degree. Certificate, we have a daytime certificate that we run, but we also have an evening certificate. So if you're interested in the certificate, you can take that during the day, or you can take that in the evening. And our bachelor courses run late afternoon to early evening, but only on Monday, Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And for our bachelor students, they don't have any classes on Thursdays and Fridays, and that's the reason for that is so they can work in the industry. So those are the options as far as certificate. Certificate you can get any time, it's day or night. Associates would only be during the day. That does not mean that you can supplement some of your courses, because how we mentioned earlier, how the curriculum is the same in the certificate. If you wanted to mix it up and you take some classes at night and some during the day, that can be done also. Any other questions?
Any other questions?
One student had a question about vaccinations for the fall. Are we requiring anybody to be vaccinated to come on campus?
That's more of a question for Marvin.
Yeah.
I know we're talking about it, but I'm not sure what the final decision
So
is.
yeah, right now there hasn't been a definite word on whether or not it'll be required for students to be vaccinated. You know, I would just say stay tuned. It's not something that we're definitely requiring right now for our students.
Yeah. Sorry, I was muted and I was talking and I realized that nobody was hearing what I was saying, so I do apologize. Technology. So sorry, Calvin, to interrupt you. So no, the college is not, at this moment, is not requiring vaccinations. However, if the city and state makes it a requirement, then we will require it as an institution. But as of right now, it is not required. However, we strongly recommend students to get vaccinated, or anybody to get vaccinated. But right now, it is not a requirement.
I can say this, the automotive full-time faculty has been fully vaccinated already.
Thanks. Any other questions?
Yes, I was wondering about the hours for the evening certificate program.
Sure. So the evening certificate runs depending on the semester, but it could run the first semester. It's 3 semesters long, pretty much. So the first semester, it runs 3 days a week, and that usually is a Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. I can't say 100% that's when it's going to be. Sometimes it's Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, the first semester. But, and then your second semester, you'll be here actually 4 evenings. It'll be Monday through Thursday. And then the very last semester, you would only be here 2 evenings a week. So it goes 3, 4, and then 2.
And generally, what are the hours that you're there?
Again, it depends on the course. So usually I would plan 4 to 10, 4 p.m. to 10 p.m.
And that includes the lab, or the 4 evenings and the 2 evenings, 4 to 10 p.m. also?
Yeah, that'd be inclusive of the labs. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Lecture and lab.
Yeah, so typically for the evening programs, you look at the hours of between 4 and 10, and the day program is typically between 8 and 3:30, 3:30 for doing it for the day program.
Exactly.
And again, it's not every day. That's just a time frame so you can, plan around it.
Yeah, our scheduling, we can't be on point, and that is because every semester is a little bit different. Enrollment is a little bit different, so that changes the scheduling around a little bit. So even the 4 to 10, some evenings you're going to be out at 8 o'clock. But I would plan just to, if you're looking for scheduling your time, I would say 4 to 10 for the evening, and then 8 to 4 for daytime.
Any other questions?
Is there any?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I had one. I was late getting on because I didn't find out about the call till 12:30. But as the doctor said, I also graduated in '85 from college, and I'm in the certificate program. So when does the ASE program start? When you get hired? The ASE certification?
Oh, ASE?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's different than our certificate. So once you complete the automotive, either associates or certificate programs, you can take your ASE exams.
And there's
for those of you that don't know what ASE is, that's the only real licensure right now that the automotive industry has.
There's like 40 tests, right?
Yeah, there's like 40 different certifications.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and what that is, so once you graduate, you can take your ASE exams. Now, there are also a little bit of credentials. You need to have at least 2 years of industry experience.
Right.
Now, your education here, whether it's certificate or the associates, counts as 1 year. So if you get a certificate and you are working in a shop while you're getting your certification or certificate, that's your 2 years. So upon graduation, you take the test and you become certified.
I kind of just I did this through the Air Force so that I could be certified in something, because I've never been certified. I built my first car, but so that's all I was.
And all our tests and quizzes are based around the ASE tests and quizzes. So we're preparing the students for the ASE exams.
Yep.
So you'll be familiar with the type of questions you get on the ASE certifications.
All right, thanks.
You're welcome.
Hello?
Yes.
Hi, sorry, I'm late too. I have a quick question.
Yep.
What time does the morning class start?
8 o'clock.
All right, and about what time does it end?
End?
Yeah.
Depends on the day. I would have to give you a good feeling for it. I would have to say that 2 days a week, you're going to be here from 8 to 4. And then the other days, you would probably be here 8 to 12 or 8 to 1, something like that.
All right. I have another question, if I could say the room. So yeah, for the tools, do they have to stay there, or once I start, can I take them with me?
They have to stay here because you have to have them for every lab. So we can't have you taking tools home and then you get to lab and you say, oh, I don't have my ratchet. I did a brake job over the weekend. I don't have it with me. So they do have to stay on campus.
Okay, gotcha. And do you guys provide, I know you guys provide like, not like a uniform, but like some overalls type of thing, or like some uniform. I don't know what the name of it is called.
You get a shop, you'll get a shop shirt. Yeah.
Okay.
The boots, the other safety equipment, boots and proper pants, You'll have to supply, now safety glasses are also required, but those are included in your first year tool set that you'll get.
Okay, perfect. I might have another one. I'm gonna have to think back real quick. Give me a second.
Were there some others in the chat, some other questions?
Ooh. I have another question. What type of like do you guys recommend? Like I bring anything with me like on the first day or so, or like anything like that you guys can provide? Let's see.
The first day you wouldn't have to bring anything except maybe a notebook and a pen.
Okay, all right.
And your schedule.
You guys are gonna provide that?
Schedule?
Yeah, like, like you guys
Yeah.
send that. Like, okay, yeah, I had the. My fault.
I think there was a question about financial aid or something, Calvin.
Yeah, I had another question. So I heard that supposedly when we start, we could get like a computer provided to us from the school. I don't know if you know about that.
I know that was something that we received a gift last year during COVID that allowed us to provide laptops for the incoming students. We're in conversation, but it's not something that we know for sure whether or not it'd be something that we'll be doing moving forward. But last year it was something that was provided off of a donation because people wanted to make sure that people were fully equipped for the for COVID.
That's dope. Yeah, because I remember I was speaking to like somebody in financial aid about it, and then they had transferred me to somebody in admissions, and they said I had to be like in good standing with them, but I'm just like I'm an incoming student, so I don't know how to be on good standing because I'm starting, so like I don't know how all that works.
Right. Well, we'll be sending out more information if we do get approved, or if that is something that we will be doing for the incoming students.
Okay, for sure.
Definitely.
Thank you.
The financial aid. Okay. I think it was answered.
All right.
Akeem, do you want to talk about the admission process? I know that we have people from different, that are at different parts of the admission process. Some people have applied, some people haven't applied, some people are going through the financial aid process. I have Akeem just talk to you about our admission process and, what to do if you haven't already been accepted.
Sure. So the admissions process is relatively simple. All students are required to do is to complete an application. And upon completing the application, we do require you to submit a transcript. We do ask that it is an official document. So whether you talk to your guidance counselor or if you can get a copy of an official transcript, we would like that to be sent over to us. You can either send it to us individually, or you can send it to the admissions email address, which should be at the end of the application. You'll have all that contact information there. And then so that's typically all that we really need. If there is additional documentation that's required, we will typically let the student know. And then sometimes if there's a third party like a parent or a guidance counselor, we will communicate that with those parties as well. I also wanted to check really briefly on David Santos's question about having potential for jobs and work on the job opportunities after graduation. So I know Professor Protano did talk a little bit about this in the beginning of the presentation, but one of the things about BFIT, why we have been so successful, is because we have different types of partnerships that lead to direct employment after students graduate. And it's great because many students will take advantage of these opportunities while they're still a student, and we introduce them to these opportunities while they're still students as well. So even from the beginning of your BFIT experience, when you take a career services survey, that typically tracks exactly what you have done in your particular career, and also to measure the trajectory in which you would like to operate in this particular career. So it allows us to help us do the best outreach that we can for the students, and then connecting them with different types of opportunities where they can get access to different full-time, part-time, and internship opportunities in the forms of different types of career fairs that happen at the school, and also these different career seminars where you work one-on-one with the career services and industry partnerships office that can help students find these different types of employment. So one of the great things to know about this particular school is that we do keep programs that are high in demand. And of course, as Professor Protano stated at the beginning of the presentation, that automotive is at the top of the list. So this is definitely something that you would like to consider, especially if you're looking for a career promising education.
Thanks, Hakeem. Any other questions before I give everybody back 13 minutes of their day?
I have a question. So if I decide to join this college, is it like a regular school where it has like math, English in those classes, or just like fully automotive?
Great question. So for our certificate program, the certificate program only has technical courses. So there is no English, math, or any type of general education programs, classes within that specific program. If you want to get the associate degree, that's when that second year, you'll take a lot of the English, the math, and all of those general education classes that are required for an associate degree. So if you're looking for the certificate, if you do the certificate, there will be no genetic courses. If you do the associate degree, you will have some genetic courses.
Okay.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Could I bring my own card to work on it?
You can, when you're in the live garage, you can bring it in. It's not a hobby shop. So
sure.
We have other customers coming in. So what you would do is you would make an appointment the day that you're in shop with the instructor. You would schedule your car to come in that day, and then that would be the day you could work on it.
Okay, perfect.
We just posted if you look in the chat, we just posted a link to our live garage. This way you can get a better sense of, what we're talking about when we say our live garage on campus.
I'm sorry. Hi.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I am very sorry that I'm late for the meeting. The thing is that my son is the one who wants to go to the program, not me. But my son is set up with another meeting with a doctor online also. So he's on a computer in a different room with a meeting. And I want to check it out, this one, to tell him what it's about. He wants to go to the school. He's really wants to go to this program. And I just saw that you guys said something about a virtual tour. Where do I go to see that tour, the virtual tour?
It's we just posted it in the chat.
Okay. But I don't see it. I don't even see the chat anywhere.
Well, the website.
If you just joined, you might not be able to see it, so maybe we can probably send it again.
Yes, if you can, if we can get your email, if I get your email, we can actually email you more information. We can email you the link to the.
Yes, that would be great, because like I said, my son didn't want to miss the meeting, but we have no choice. He had to go to his appointment with the doctor, and that would be really helpful for us.
Right, and we'll be posting this as well on our website. We recorded this session, so he'll be able to go back and listen in and pick up on any points.
Okay.
What is your son's name?
Clemens Castellanos.
Spell the last name for me.
C-A-S.
Yep.
T-E-L-L-A-N-O-S.
Okay. All right. So we know that you have the information because obviously you participated in the information session. So what we'll do is we'll follow back up with you with some more information.
Please, yes, I would appreciate that very much. And
Definitely.
Jenny has his email address and my email address.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
You know your
Okay,
admissions
thank you.
counselor. Perfect.
I have to go because I have to go to the other meeting too. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Okay, bye-bye.
Jenny, you'll follow up? All right, perfect. Thank you. Any other questions?
I got one more.
Sure.
What's a typical like a class day like?
So the typical day would be, I'll try to describe this as best as possible. Now, this wouldn't be set in stone because, like I mentioned earlier, it changes. So there's some days you would come in at 8 o'clock and you may not end your classes until 4 o'clock. Now that's not every day though. So there could be another day where you may come in at 10 o'clock and you're done at 2 o'clock. And then you could have another day that you start at 8 and you're done at 1 or 2 o'clock. So it varies day to day. You're not here 8 to 4 every day. Pretty much you'll be here 2 full days and then three days, I would say 3 half days if I had to explain it. But it varies. You know, it's a college schedule. It's not a high school schedule where, you know, in high school you're there 7:30 to 2:30 every day. It's not like that. You have, and again, you know, the day I say you're here 8 to 4, you might have an hour and a half break for lunch or something like that. So it's not 8 hours of automotive classes. You know, you do get breaks, you do get lunch and things like that. So hopefully that kind of gives you some sort of idea if you're planning on working here and there. I wouldn't commit to anything as far as your job if you are working until you get your schedule.
Okay. So is it like it's like it's 4 days a week, right?
5 days.
5 days, okay. And it's what's it called? Is every class day a shop or like is the days like, you know, we have to take the books or like stuff like that? Like how's it broken down?
So it's half and half. So if you have one course, let's talk about your engines course. So the engines course meets 6 hours a week. And it's different days, but 3 of those 6 hours are lecture hours where you would be, the instructor would be lecturing to you. And then 3 hours are hands-on lab. And that's how our courses run. There's equal amount of time to lecture and actual hands-on lab work. So engine performance, for example, is a 4-hour week course. So 2 hours is lecture, 2 hours is lab each week. The only course that's not like that is the live garage. You're in there 1 whole day. That's 8 to 5. And that starts in semester 3. And that's all hands-on, 100% hands-on.
And how would that work in the evening certificate program, semester 3, with the live garage?
And that in the certificate, that semester 3, you only are taking garage. So the way it's scheduled right now, it's 2 days a week from 4 to 10. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
I actually have another one. For the evening program, you said it generally runs 4 to 10 p.m. Does it split, like some of that time is going to be then in the garage and some will be in lecture? Or is it just, is it for Monday, say, everything is just straight lecture?
No, it's split. It's split. So you'll be in lecture a portion of it, and then you'll go into the garage or into a lab. I shouldn't say garage, but you go into a lab where you would do hands-on.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Sure. We try to give as much hands-on as possible because that is the best way for students to learn, is hands-on. So we try to do as much hands-on as possible. And there are times where, you know, we might take some lecture time and do some hands-on theory things in order for students to learn a little bit better.
Generally, how many students are in each lab, and how many instructors?
It's usually one instructor for 15 or sometimes 18 students, no more than 18 in a class. And most of the time it's 15, sometimes a little less. The only time there's more than one instructor is when you're in the live garage. So it'd be 2 instructors to that 15 students. Just because there's so many jobs going on, it's better to have 2 instructors.
Okay, thanks.
Electric cars. That was just a question. I just seen a question pop up about electric cars.
What about them? We are going to be training. We're starting an electric car program. So we're covering that. We do that now. We do have a alternative fuels course right now, which covers electric vehicles, hybrid vehicles, diesel vehicles. So, you know, we are looking to turn the page and start a fully electric certificate program. And along with that comes autonomous vehicles. So we are looking forward, and that's in the near future.
All right, we have time for one more question. And then feel free to, if you have any follow-up questions for admissions or financial aid, we'll have the counselors post those emails in the chat. We have time for one more question before we're up with this session. All right. Thank you all for attending this information session. Like I said, if you have any questions or follow-up, feel free to email us. If there's anything specific that Dave Protano could answer for you guys, we can definitely forward that information to him so you can follow up as well. But thank you for taking your time out today to join us, and we look forward to hearing from you guys soon.